Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about a major snowstorm going on out west. I think blizzard conditions are actually going to be quite widespread. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Now, before I get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. I would also highly recommend that you check out our very awesome Patreon page, where I'm going to be uploading a post about our upcoming cooldown for the Eastern United States. So if you want to see that, you can check it out by going to our Patreon page and joining today. Now, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think we will see any legitimate East Coast blizzards this year? We have had pretty much none of them in the past couple of winters. Do you think this is the winter where we finally do see one? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now let's get into this video, and first off, I want to explain my claims that I think this storm could be a blizzard. First off, we're taking a look at about 2 p.m. or a little bit earlier, maybe noontime. Tomorrow, Friday, November 13th, and as you can see, we have very heavy snowfall going on for the Cascades and some of the northern Rockies. Let's just take a look at the winds going on, and the important thing to note here is the requirements for a blizzard is heavy snowfall with winds that are over 35 miles per hour or frequent gusts that are over 35 miles per hour. And the gusts appear that they will be in the lower 50s or the upper 60s as far as mile per hour winds. So we're going to be seeing some very windy conditions alongside that very heavy snowfall. I think blizzard warnings will go up, but generally near blizzard or blizzard conditions will be going on regardless for the Cascades and portions of the Rockies. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at this storm frame by frame and just take it from the beginning to the end. Alright, so here we are taking a look at about this afternoon, and as you can see, there isn't going to be really any snowfall going on for the United States yet. But look up north, we have a low pressure system offshore of western Canada there, bringing some heavy snowfall to their very west coast. But as we take a look at about, I would say it's about 12 a.m., so tonight, heading into Friday tomorrow, and we're starting to see that moderate to heavy snowfall going on for the Cascades there. Washington and Oregon, heavy rainfall for the coast, but the mountainous regions definitely seeing some very heavy snowfall. Again, with those winds, possibly even blizzard conditions already. Let's just take it to the afternoon hours tomorrow, 2 or 3 p.m. on Friday, November 13th. And as you can see, for Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada's more lighter snowfall. We see Idaho, even Montana as well. All of these regions seeing very heavy snowfall. The lower elevation regions seeing rainfall. But some of the moderate to high elevation areas are definitely seeing some piling heavy snowfall here by this point. Extremely heavy, actually, I would say. This is going to be a very major snowstorm, regardless of if it's a blizzard or not. But I'm telling you, with those winds, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between a blizzard or not a blizzard if it's not a blizzard, because I think there's a good chance it will be. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on towards about 12 a.m. that night in just a moment, where we're going to see the Rockies begin to get much more involved with this snowstorm. Now again, this is probably by about 12 a.m., so Friday heading into Saturday here, and as you can see, we're still seeing the moderate to heavy snowfall for Washington, Oregon, now even further south in California. Nevada, your snowfall has gotten a little bit heavier there for sure, seeing moderate snowfall by this point. Idaho, snow is widespread. It's same story in western Montana there and western Wyoming, as well as northern Utah. We're seeing a ton of snowfall there for Utah. So very, very widespread snowfall with this storm. This is a big Rocky Mountain snowstorm, and this is exactly the type of snowstorm we think is going to be very frequent. We thought it would be frequent for the fall time, and it was, and we do think this storm track will be very frequent during the winter time as well, and so far it appears that is likely still to this point. So let's just move it. I would say this is probably about 6 a.m., so this is going to be Saturday morning, November 14th, and as you can see, still the Cascades seeing moderate snowfall, so you guys are going to get a ton out there in Washington and Oregon. Nevada and Idaho, it's lightening up by this point, but still probably going to see a couple more inches before it's all said and done. Same story for Montana. But Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado, you're still seeing very heavy snowfall. You can actually see our low pressure center is located there in southeastern Colorado. So when these storms really wrap around, I call it a diving low. It almost does a U shape. It comes from the Pacific Northwest down to the Four Corner States and then heads back up through the upper Midwest. that increases the amount of time that these areas see snowfall in the southern Rockies, and this is oftentimes what leads to very heavy snowstorms and blizzards for this region, because if it was just heading straight through, it would be moving a lot faster and you would see much less hours of snowfall. But when it does that U shape, you see snowfall as it's heading south, and then as it's curving around, and then also as it's heading north. So you see days and days of snowfall this way, and really that's just what's going to be leading to much of your accumulated snowfall. We're going to take a look at those accumulations in just a moment, actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at the total accumulated maximum wind gusts in just a moment. We're going to take a look at how the upper Midwest could see some snowfall from this one. We're going to be taking a look at the temperature pattern for the East Coast a little bit. We're going to give you a sneak peek of that Patreon post. And then also we're going to be taking a look at the total snowfall according to about half a dozen models. All right, now here we are taking a look at that accumulated wind gusts. So this is basically through the entire 60-hour model run. So this is through the AM hours on Saturday. The total maximum wind gusts you could see at any given point in those 60 hours time frame. And as you can see, we see a ton of yellows and reds, which again is over 50 mile per hour wind gust. So basically anywhere in these oranges and reds that sees a heavy snowfall at the same time as their winds, we'll practically see blizzard conditions. I do expect we will see a lot of blizzard warnings go up. I would be surprised if we don't. But regardless, we're going to see blizzard conditions or near blizzard conditions if there's blizzard warnings or not. So here we are taking a look at the upper Midwest, and I wanted to show this. This is a bit far out, 87 hours, so I'm not going to touch on this too much, but I wanted to tell you guys that Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, all have a chance of seeing snowfall on Sunday, Saturday time frame from this same system, but we will be updating that most likely for you guys since it's so far out. Also, the temperature anomalies. This is starting out Tuesday morning. Take a look at that. This snowstorm is going to be moving generally eastward, and it's going to unleash that cold air on the eastern United States. So we will be seeing a big cool down for the eastern half of the United States starting out early next week around the 16th or 17th. We've touched on that before in previous videos, but sure enough, it appears that will likely be the case now. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. Again, our Patreon post today is going to be all about that. I highly recommend you join down below. All you got to do is join for 1 month, and you can always cancel, but I promise you, you're not going to want to. And it's actually been surprising how few cancellations we've had, maybe less than a handful of cancellations since I've started my Patreon page. So people love it. I think you will too. Go ahead and join. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at the snowfall total according to about half a dozen models, like I said, or maybe 5. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment. So first things first, here's our European model, and this is the model we've been using throughout this video for our simulated radar. But as you can see, generally I'm just going to walk you through what the color tables are. Those gray shades, that's basically where you're probably going to see maybe a dusting, if anything, maybe just seeing flakes. I always make sure to remind you guys of this, but this only is picking up the snow that's falling out of the sky. It's not taking into consideration the snow that will stick. So if you're only getting an inch of snow that's falling out of the sky, you know how it doesn't like to stick right away. I would say it's likely that you don't see much. If you're in the blues, that's anywhere from about an inch to 6 inches of snow. And if you're in the purples, you're about 6 to 9 inches of snow. If you're in the pinks, you're at about 9 to 20 inches of snow. And if you're in those kind of teal, lighter blue, kind of really hard to describe colors, you're at about 20 inches plus. You can see those kind of turn into a pinkish purplish shade. That's where you're at about 38 inches plus. So we're taking a look at a lot of those areas that are taking a look at, 2 feet or more, especially the Cascades there, Idaho, Wyoming, portions of Utah, portions of Colorado as well. So very widespread amounts of these very heavy snowfall accumulation amounts, surprisingly high amounts. This is a very major snowstorm. I've been telling you guys this throughout this video. Let's take a look at the GFS, and you can see not much difference here. I'm actually very impressed with the agreement here. Very very few differences, if anything, so good agreement there. Here's your Canadian model, and again, just hardly any differences. They're all agreeing that 40 inches plus is very likely for some mountaintop regions. Let's just move on and take a look at our 3 km NAM, and this is a very high resolution model. And the only difference here is, well, it's higher resolution. That's basically it. Outside of that, it is showing the same exact thing. that the rest of our models are showing. And then finally, my very, very favorite model, the RGEM model. And again, it is in very good agreement with the rest of the models. So I am feeling very, very confident in what these models are projecting. They all agree with each other. I expect that it will look very similar to this once we're looking back at how much snowfall actually fell. Now, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how do you think December is going to go? And Anthony G said, I'm hoping that it is very cold and very snowy. I want a white Christmas. And a lot of you agreed with Anthony, and I certainly do as well. I haven't had a white Christmas in about, I actually think 10 years. I think December of 2010 was the last time we had a white Christmas here in Virginia. That was a beautiful, beautiful Christmas that year. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our diamond patrons. Michael Codalessa, Madbirds, Felix Wheatfield, Michael Buell, Alicia Davis, Catbite, Terry Curtis, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Kellen Manhart, Mariah Vieira, Noah Harley, and Mark J, alongside our platinum patrons, Adam S., Gary Fiffle, Justin Quantrell, Donna Carnes, Alan Belemo, Dovie Nagel, James Wade, and Cameron Marshall. Oh, and Larry LePan, I think I forgot your name. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.